Okay, welcome to this lesson where I will be discussing how to resolve issues with the Migrate tool. So I have my project here and I want to add or do some migrations. So I want to create a table and do some other work. So if you recall, I need to create a pair of migration files. So to do that, I will issue the migrate create command, which I have already done, okay, to save typing and time. So I'm going to create my files and I'm going to name them create messages table because I want to actually create a table called messages. Okay, so the two files have been created for me, 1 and 2, and I will simply copy and paste the code that I have written earlier to save time. So in the down, I will add the drop table command, and in the up, I will add the create table command. So that would be this one. But I will add a deliberate error. I will introduce a deliberate error. So it's not now, it's Apple. Okay, so obviously this will cause an error in the SQL, which is what we want. So with that saved, I will issue the migrate command. So migrate up. So currently my database does not have anything. So let's run it, right, using the up command. It's telling me that there's an error, which we know, right? Now, is there any change to the database? Yes, the schema migrations table has been created. But I want us to look at what is in there. So select all from schema migrations. And notice it has a T for dirty. Normally it would have an F. The T means that something went wrong. It means that it's in a dirty state. Okay, so we have to fix this. So how do we fix this? Well, we have to come back here and it's telling me, right, what the problem is. And so to fix it, I will have to go back and of course fix my code. So step number 1, fix the code. So I know that this is now, right? And by the way, the instructions, this procedure that I'm doing right now, it's only when you're doing your first migration, okay? Your first migration. After this, I'll show you what to do when you already have multiple migrations and the last one is causing you problems. Okay, so for now, we're trying to do our very first migration. So these are the rules to fix it. All right, so I fixed the SQL code. And so I will run the up command again. And you would expect it to work. However, with the migrate tool, it doesn't work that way. So it's telling me I have to fix and force. I have already fixed the code. Now I need to force the migration. That's easy to do. All I have to do is to specify the number. And so I will say force and the number. And it's telling me here, it's telling me 1. Okay, it's telling me 1. So I'm going to put 1. Okay. Now, if I try to run the up command again, it's going to say no change. Okay. So I cannot do that yet. What I must do is to actually use the down command. So I'm going to say down. Okay. It's going to ask me, do you want to remove? Yes. All right. Good. Now, when I've done that, if I come back here, let's check the state. Okay, nothing, right? It's nothing. So now I can go back and I can reissue my up. All right, and now it's telling me that it was successful. So when I come here and I run this, I see that dirty is false, and of course version number is 1. And if I check if any tables are here, we have 2, messages and schema migrations. That works. All right, so excellent. We now have a migration. Let's try to do a second migration and let's see how we can fix any problems that might occur when we have a second migration or an error in our second migration. So I will, let's say I want to maybe add a foreign key. All right, I didn't add any, well, actually I don't want to do that. Let's do something simple. Let's say I want to add a column. Okay, so I will say add column underscore say 2 underscore messages table. So let me give this column a name. Add column, what do I call it? Type. Let's call it type. Okay, I'm going to create a column called type. So add column type to messages table. That's the name of my migration file. So I have 2 migration files. Okay. And so if I come here to, well, actually here, they're empty. So let's write the code to add a column to an existing table. So let's look at that. That I guess I'll have to type it out. So I'm going to say alter table messages. Okay. Add column type. Let's call it integer. And let's say it's not null. And let's say the default is 1. But I want to make this cause an error, so I will maybe change this to alter table message. There is no message table, right? Okay. So this will introduce an error, and let's do the down. The down is easy. All I have to do is to say alter table messages, the correct name, drop column what's the name? Type. Okay, so drop column and add column. Okay, great. So currently we're at version 1. Okay, so let's verify that. I could easily just say here I could just say version, right? And we're at version 1. So now I want to perform my second migration. Okay, I want to perform my second migration. So let's go ahead and let's run up again. Okay, and we expect an error. Okay, So it's telling me that there is an error. Right? Okay, what happens to my migration? Right? So it's dirty. True. Okay, so step one, let's fix. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to say it's not, oops, where is it? Yes, this one. It's not message, it's not, well, wrong one. It's not message, but messages. That's the name of the table. Okay, so we fixed it. Okay, so again, since we assumed that we fixed it, we could just run up again. Okay, and it tells me that it's dirty. Now, if I come back here, right, it has 2. But you would think that, well, maybe I should just say I should just say force 2, right? But no, right? We don't want to do that. What we can do is to actually say force 1. Okay. So if I say force 1, nothing happens. Okay. Now, if I come back here, right, I'm back to 1. I'm back to 1. So I've cleaned up my migration. So now, because I'm back to 1, because remember, 2 didn't really complete. 2 did not complete. So what I'm going to do now is to issue the up command again. Okay, and now it's saying that it added a column. And is that true? Okay. And let's check my table. So I'm going to say select all from messages. All right, and we now have a type column. Okay, so to recap, when we're doing our very first migration, then we will force it to 1, and then we will issue the down command followed by the up command. Now, if we already have 1 successful migration, then it means that any other migration we will not issue the down command. All we will do, we will force it to the previous correct migration. Okay, so because I already had migration version 1 correct, and it was telling me to force version 2, I decided to put 1 instead because I wanted it to go to the previous version. Okay, and once I did that, then I simply said I simply did the up command again. So I hope that made sense. So for those of you who had problems with migration, then I want you to follow these instructions and put your migrate tool into a consistent state where it is saying F. All right. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. Again, you need to become familiar with how to take how to fix the mistakes with your migrations, because you will be making a lot of mistakes when you write SQL. Right? The SQL code won't work the first time, and it will have a migrate error, and so you'll have to fix it. It's just something you'll have to get used to. Now, if there are any other issues or any other things that I needed to know about the Migrate tool, then as we're going along, I'll introduce those to you. But for now, all you have to remember is you have to fix it and then force it and then do another up. Okay. There's also one thing I could add. You're able to specify where to go to. So for example, if there's a specific migration I want to go to, let's say I want to go back to migration 1. Okay, so let's say I decide, you know what, I don't want that column anymore. I want to remove it. Okay, so currently it has the type column, so I want to remove it. Okay, so I want to undo. So I told you to use dong in class, but dong, if you notice, undoes all the migrations. So if I do dong, it will remove both migrations. That's not what I want. So what we do instead, we say go to. Okay, we say go to, and then we specify the migration number that we would want to go to. So for example, if I want to go from migration 2 back to migration 1, I will just type 1. Okay, and now if I check my table, you'll see that the type has disappeared because I am now in version 1. Right, version 1. Okay, all right, go back to version 2. All right, and we're back to version 2, and I'm back to having type in my column. All right, so that's it. We just need to get used to these commands. By the way, just for you to see, if I type dong, okay, this will ask me, are you sure to apply? Are you sure you want to apply to all dong migrations? All? If I say yes, okay, and I go back to my database and I say messages, there's no messages. Why? Because it removed the tables. Okay, so notice if I do backslash DT, right, there is the schema migrations table there, but there is nothing else. All right, there's nothing else. So moral of the lesson is, do not use dong unless it's your very first migration. Okay, I'll leave it here. I hope this video was helpful. I'll see you in the next lesson.